Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, reading Batman issue number 13. Now, this was kind of a big, much to do about nothing. Catwoman, as we kind of guesstimated, is actually a double agent. She's just kind of waiting for the perfect moment to pounce. I was going to say strike, but that wouldn't make sense with Catwoman, now would it? So, the ventriloquist is there in order to subdue Psycho Pirate because he's got his split personality thing going. So while Psycho Pirate is making the ventriloquist himself afraid, Mr. Scarface, who isn't actually there, but in spirit, with his hand he is, and he begins punching Psycho Pirate into unconsciousness, after which ventriloquist is knocked unconscious. I don't know why Bronze Tiger was there. He immediately says, "I need venom, and I can pay for it right now." And he gets the venom, and he runs in just as it's too late. And yeah, I guess he was supposed to be there as a plan B, but plan B wound up never needing to be taken place anyway. We get to see kind of the whole suicide thing again. I Am Suicide. Last issue I explained why this whole run was called I Am Suicide. This kind of gives a new meaning because it really was suicide going in there against Bane. After Batman went and kicked the living snot out of just about every person in that facility in order to get to Bane, he was too tired to continue. And Bane, naked, beats the snot out of Batman. Well, at one point, this is the best part in the comics and probably the best part in the entire Batman run this year, was that Bane picks up Batman and says, "What do you want? Tell me what you want." And Batman says, "I want to break your damn back." And then he calls over to Catwoman and says, "Now." And Catwoman snaps her whip around Bane's neck and from behind kicks him in his lower spine, breaking his back. I'm going to let that sit for a little while you think about just how ultimately disappointing that ending was. It's not the idea that Batman orchestrated the breaking of Bane's back as opposed to doing it himself. It's not the idea that, oh, Catwoman shouldn't be able to do something like that. It's the idea that, come on, man, that big buildup just for that was really disappointing. The comic, the run, everything was really good. It had me on the edge of my seat. But then this, and they all wind up getting on a ship and going home. Now, this comic by itself would have gotten a C. Boosted up to, maybe a little bit higher, maybe not much higher by the whole run. But the thing that really gets me happy about this comic was the little interlude that happens via Justice League versus Suicide Squad. Actually, that's reversed. It's Suicide Squad versus Justice League. I think that's important, at least in finding it in your comic box. But the point is that Amanda Waller shows up. Now, again, you're going to have to go and look at my Suicide Squad versus Justice League thing, or actually read the comic itself in order to find out why she shows up. But she shows up in the Batcave. Yeah, only Alfred's there, of course. And she goes up and she says, "Yeah, I'm just here for a couple minutes. You know me. I cause people problems. I'm just going to take a few files and leave." While Alfred would usually take a 12-gauge double-barrel shotgun to anybody who'd come anywhere near one of the entrances of the Batcave, she walks right in, and Alfred doesn't even want to mess with it. He's just going to continue dusting. He's like, if Batman were here, and she says, "Yeah, if. That's a big if." Anyway, she takes what she wants and she leaves. Wow. Absolutely sick. And if you're a huge Batman fan, you might actually have a huge problem with this and just wind up hating Amanda Waller more, which is exactly what DC wants. But either way, if you're just a fan of Suicide Squad or DC or comics, as a whole, you're going to love how much you hate Amanda Waller right now. Absolutely amazing. And at least you hope there's going to be hell to pay for her. You hope. Anyway, we'll see exactly how that works out. In the meantime, this comic is going to get a B-. The Amanda Waller thing was great. It was the only saving grace that prevented him from C-dom, but it wasn't quite enough to make up that this comic really ended on a flat note, with Batman needing Catwoman to do a one-shot on Bane. It does, however, end with Bane demanding venom. So that at least, there's a potential for something good to come up out of this. Anyway, guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, class dismissed.